Hey guys, so this video is going to be a little bit of a part 2 from the first video I filmed regarding Amway and just pyramid schemes in general. The first video I feel like it was just a little bit scattered. I was speaking out of emotion, so I was definitely frustrated and I just feel like it was all over the place. So in this video I'm going to be talking a little bit more about the relationship piece. Which is your upline, which is, the mentors, the people that recruit you. And for me specifically, I am the type of person that if we develop a connection through friendship, a partnership, whatever it is, I feel that if you have impacted my life in a certain way, in a positive way, I owe you something, whether it's through an act of gratitude or whatever, a gift. So when I was brought into this opportunity to join Amway and to be a business owner, I was 18, 19 at the time. I was in a very vulnerable stage in my life. I had taken a break from college. I was working a retail job that I was just super frustrated. I just felt like I was at a dead end. I didn't know if I had a purpose at that time. So I was definitely very vulnerable. So when my mentor, let's call her Lisa, when Lisa came into my life, I thought it was a sign. I thought it was a blessing in disguise, and I definitely was meant to go down this road. So when I joined Amway, I soon realized that it was a very cultish mentality. So once again, in the first video I talked about Greg and Jackie. They were at the diamond level, I believe. These people are making thousands and thousands of dollars a month because they have established a pretty good team. So it's Greg and Jackie, and then they have all these people underneath them, right? And they were retired at mid-30s. They were doing good. But I noticed that there was this really weird cult mentality of oh my gosh, Greg and Jackie, can you believe that they achieved all of this? And they're going to bless us with their time almost, excuse me, they're going to come down. They would always say this, they are going to take time out of their day, out of their evening, time away from their family to come and be here in this meeting today and talk to us about how to grow our businesses. And it was always delivered in a way of we owe them so much because they are taking time out of their evening, and you guys, at this point, they're making thousands of dollars a month because of their downlines. So they're just really rich. They don't really have anything else to do other than to I don't want to sound rude, but obviously they had a family, they had a lot of kids or whatever, so yeah, time away from their family, that was their objective. Obviously work hard to just have time with their family and not have to worry about a 9-to-5 job. But they would always say it, they would word it as in a way that it would make you feel like they were some missionaries in a different country with all these projects, and they were taking time away from that to come teach us certain things. And it was never anything new, to be honest. They would always come and they would always just kind of talk about their testimony, and the thing is with these meetings, you guys, you sat in a big room of people. So you had the speakers, you had the sophomore league, and you had the junior league, and then all the other guests, which were newbies to Amway. It was guests that you had personally recruited to come and sit in those meetings. So those meetings, I feel were always very much geared towards them, towards the people that you had recruited to come out to the evening to just sit in and potentially join this business opportunity. So it was always kind of a sales pitch. It was never anything new. I would sit there and I was okay, well, I've already heard this before. So really, this isn't anything new, and this really isn't helping me in any way as a individual business owner already, And whenever they would come, they would always be dressed to the nines. I remember, Jackie would always just have really, it was around the winter time when I joined, so she would have this fur coat. Highly doubt it was fake because everybody was like, oh my god, like a fur coat. Like she would be in a fur coat, like expensive shoes, you know, Greg would be dressed, you know, in a nice suit or whatever. So they would be, you know, dressed to impress, and it definitely impressed a lot of people because once again, you guys, this is a room filled with people that we are just, you know, we are at dead-end jobs. We are in situations where we need a break. Like we want to be able to reach their status, you know. So I remember my mentor, Lisa. So Lisa would always pull me aside and like, okay, if you get time with them, like just make sure that you are intentional with every second that you get with them. You know, they are really taking time out of their day to come and meet with you guys, and you know, just make sure you respect them and respect their time. Once again, that was really weird for me because I feel like if you really are part of an organization, of a company, and companies pay you to be there, like you're getting paid, you're working, you know, I've worked jobs where it's part-time and the employer pays for us to go to conferences, to grow in our leadership skills, to grow in our jobs, whatever it is. And as the employer, it's your responsibility to make sure that you are in fact investing in your employees because you want to make sure that this corporation is running in a healthy way, it's running as it should. And so for everybody to make a big deal that Greg and Jackie were, you know, like it was almost a chore for them to come and teach us, it was kind of like, well, I mean, if we are their team, as they say, then this shouldn't be a chore. Like, they should be out here weekly, because there were like weekly meetings that you had to pay to be in. Like, I don't know, it was just confusing. So I soon started noticing this weird cultish mentality. Also, I do want to say that they always mixed in their religious beliefs with the business. So there's a danger to that. As the Christian, as whatever you believe in, you really shouldn't be doing that. You know, if somebody were to be preaching anything at a corporation, like HR would be all over that and they would probably get fired, you know, like that's a huge no. But the thing was, they would teach the prosperity gospel. So if you don't know what that is, it's a very Joel Osteen kind of mentality where it's like, where it's this whole mentality that God is serving you, that you can use your belief to grow your worldly possessions, which is a very messed up way of thinking, in a theology speaking kind of way, because, you know, and I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, but it just rubbed me the wrong way, because I'm like, okay, why are we talking about the gospel in your weird warped view while because we're supposed to be talking about this business, and you're supposed to be teaching us how to grow our business, not how to be this other cult zombie in a Joel Osteen kind of way. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just really confusing for me, and I did not like that at all. So, everybody kind of started to talk about this church that Greg was, I don't know if he like put it together or if he was one of the, you know, main speakers at that church, but people just started like flocking there, and it was just like a very weird, once again, cultish way of thinking. It was a very confusing stance on Christianity, and I don't think it portrayed what Christianity is to its truth. So I feel like that's very dangerous because this guy was already in a position of power. He was already, you know, someone that people looked up to. They wanted to be like him. They wanted to achieve his lifestyle. And now he is kind of making all of these spiritual, he was making all these like spiritual decisions for people, and people were just taking it in because their mentality was, if I do everything that he does, I will achieve this, which is very unhealthy. So, now I want to speak about the team leader. Now, this is the person that Lisa was under. So the team leader was a very, I heard a noise and it scared me. The team leader was a very toxic person. She was in a place in her life where she really wanted to have a family, and she would let us know. So basically, she wanted us to be generating as a team a certain amount of income a month, so that she could retire from her day job and start to have children. That was a very that was just a very kind of off-putting way to go about you leading a team, because I'm sorry, but if you want to have a family and if you want to have children, then do that. Like, don't put that on me, and don't like guilt me that I am not meeting what I should be meeting, income of, like, in terms of sales, and that basically I'm the reason that you can't achieve that. Like, are you kidding me? I was an 18, 19-year-old kid. Like, I'm still trying to learn the ropes. I barely made enough income in my retail job to even support myself through the welcoming kit, which was a $200 investment. And then you had to sign up for this $60 a month messaging service that everybody on AMWAY was in, which was a lot of money, when you're not making a lot of money. So it's that whole, like, the more money you invest, the more outcome you'll see, regarding your business, which, like, I don't know, that's just the one thing that gets me. Like, the whole, if you are not seeing results, that means that you are not working hard enough. It means that you are not making enough sales, blah, 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 blah. And what kind of company, even like when you're in a sales job, you make a certain amount of money hourly and then you make commissions, or maybe it is a whole commission-based job, but you never have to put in your money to grow that business. Obviously, like, if you are starting a business from scratch, then yes, that's a whole different story. But when you are in, these companies, Amway, Unique, Young Living, you are not an independent business owner. You guys, let me rephrase that. You are not an independent business owner. You will never be in the boardroom talking about what products to put out, how much you should sell those items for, how much should you, how much, like, of a percentage you're going to take off for these business owners who are all the downlines to be able to buy them and resell them and make some type of profit. Like, it's just, you're not an independent business owner. You are just another, you're just another robot, And the thing is, these companies make a lot of money, not by random people, like, being like, oh my gosh, like, yes, I'm gonna support you and I'm gonna buy your products. They're making money off the business owner, off me, off people that just want to succeed in this business so bad that I'm the one purchasing all these products to be able to hit that quota, to be able to rise in the company, to become a sophomore league, to become a junior league, whatever. And, mind you, Amway didn't, like, kick you off the team if you weren't making a certain amount of income a month. However, and there also wasn't, like, you need to be making this much to even remain, like, an Amway business owner. But they definitely were toxic in the way, especially my team leader, who was above Lisa, to remind you, hey, what is going on? Are you not working hard enough? Why are you not meeting this? When I was doing this business, I was, selling placenta. What the heck? Placenta. I totally meant to say another word. I meant to say selling, like, blood or something. Like, you, ew. Okay, anyway, I may cut that out, maybe not, but that was, okay, that's not what I meant. Plasma is what I meant to say, not placenta. I was selling plasma, which she wasn't, she never said that, but I mean, that was other stories in the company, right? Like, someone was always doing something wacky to try to have enough money a month to put into this business, which is whatever. The other thing that I did not like was, once again, the whole guilting. So, the team leader would always make sure to establish her power over the team. She was so rude to Lisa. Oh my God, the way she spoke to her, I was like, I hope she tries one day to speak to me in that way. She would always like, so, okay, example. When I first joined the team, I noticed that Lisa started sitting next to me, and I thought that she was just trying to make me feel comfortable, because when she was recruiting me, she was already in the sophomore sitting area, which means she was, selling a certain amount a month, she was doing great, she was thriving, but then she started sitting next to me, and I just thought she was trying to make me feel comfortable. Well, the team leader made the point one day after the whole 2-hour long meeting. She pulled us all aside, she pulled her team aside, and she was like, okay, you guys, what is going on here? No one is meeting, the basic minimum of what you should be at least making. Lisa isn't going to tell you this, but she is no longer in the sophomore league because she's not meeting her, her sales goals. And it was said in a way where it was just kind of weird. It wasn't like, I just want to, it wasn't in a encouraging type of way of Lisa kind of fell off the horse a little bit, but that's okay because there's always next month. But how as a team, can we improve? It was like, you are not doing this, she's not doing this, you're all failing me kind of a thing. And it was not cool. I don't like when people are bullies. And that's the thing with these types of business models. People that really aren't equipped to be leaders become leaders, and they do not have the best leadership skills that you need to be just a leader. They lead with putting others down. They lead with guilting you, by bullying you. They don't lead by encouraging you, by lifting you up, by, working on your weaknesses. It's more of you need to be doing this because of X, Y, and Z, and if you're not doing that, then it means you're not even doing your job. And the thing with these models, the thing with being in that line of work, which is, AMWAY, unique, whatever, you can put in a lot of time, a lot of your own resources, which is the financial means, and you will not see a lot of payoff. I ended up losing friendships over this, you guys, because they would give you this whole script of how to reach out to people, and people don't want that. They just don't. So, excuse me, there were a lot of instances where it felt very cultish, with even the whole, and I said this in my first video, I couldn't befriend other people from other teams. I couldn't, I gave someone my email once thinking that was, kind of boundaries enough, and I got called out for it. They were like, why did you give that person your email? And I was just like, oh, well, we were talking about a fitness program, which I don't know if you guys have heard of Kayla It Seems or whatever. I can't say her last name, but she had this whole fitness program, and it was sent to you via email. So I had that, and I made a connection with someone else in the team, and she was like, oh my God, I've been trying to get into that program, but it's just a little bit too expensive. And I was like, hey, I have it, I'll just email it to you. And it was as innocent as that, and I got pulled aside and was like, you cannot be doing that. You cannot be making friends with other people in other teams. That's just a conflict of interest. And I'm like, but this is all, aren't we all Amway? Aren't we a family, as they say up from the stage? And yeah, so it always made me shut down, because the people in my team, I'm not gonna, there were people in my team that were way older than I was. So obviously it's our nature to want to seek friendship. So I would always gravitate towards people that were my age and were buying into this business opportunity. I wasn't trying to join their team. I was just trying to make friends. Once again, I was very isolated at this point in my life. I was working a retail job where, I didn't have time to do anything else other than work this job. I wasn't going to college at the time. I was very isolated. I wanted to make friends. And so I was grasping on to this business opportunity because that was my only way of having a community at that point in time. So, yeah, I don't know if that was detailed enough, but I feel like relationships are super important, and that's part of the main reason people join to companies like this. It might not even be the financial piece, but it's because you want to be a part of something and you want to be with like-minded individuals, and that was what it was for me. Like, yes, it would have been nice to be making like $1,000+ a month by not doing anything, almost, you know, by growing my team and just getting their profits, right? But for me, it was those relationships. So if you are in that point in your life, like you're considering joining one of these businesses because you want to be with people like that or whatever, like, I just want to caution you, at the end of the day, it's a business. At the end of the day, people are just out for themselves, and they just want to succeed in this, and they won't really care about you. You're just another pawn. I'm sorry to be blunt, but that's just what it is, and you're not going to make long-lasting friendships from that. So in fact, I don't speak to any of them anymore because I was so hurt by how they were treating each other, how they were treating me, that I'm like, I want nothing to do with this ever again. So cautionary tale. I don't know, just careful. Alright guys, thank you for listening, and this is a longer video than I thought, but I'll catch you on the next video. Bye.